The experience of actually sitting down and playing the game that Robby made up would be like taking an all-expense-paid trip to a beautiful mine. Game elements that he's described are just unbelievable in many, many ways, and he's talked about it with such kind of granular detail that I just feel like I've played the game. I've already played the game, and I've been to Gloomsbrook, not literally, but in some ways I feel like I've been to Gloomsbrook and I met Philip, and I don't have it, but I wrote in a journal a adventure I went on with Philip, where we were running along the rooftops, and Philip actually told me little secrets about his life and about the people who he loved. And I thought that was so interesting. So I came in and I said, Robby, I want to share with you an imagined journey that I went on with Philip. And he didn't want to hear it because for a mind like that, for a guy like Robby, he already knows, he's beaten out all these plot points. He knows Philip's going to do this at this point, and you're going to go here. He doesn't need other ideas. He just doesn't need other people telling him things, because he's like, he's already told all the characters everything, and no one needs to tell him anything, because he just doesn't need it. I mean, books have so much information in them, and everyone's always renting them from the library, or they're buying them in stores, but like Robby has a lot of books, but he actually doesn't have to read them, because a lot of that content, of that stuff in there, he's already thought about that stuff, so he actually doesn't have to read them. Well, actually, Robby doesn't need other people. And that's kind of what separates him from me. I need Robby. I need Robby, and I need my mom, and I need my dad. But Robby is one of those, he's such an individual, he just doesn't need other people, because he's already thought of almost everything. He has so many ideas, and you don't, like, why would you tell a person like that something that you thought? I was standing on like a pole, like, you know, like there was a telephone pole, and I was kind of leaning up against it like casually, which is a thing I do, and this guy comes out and pushes me, and he goes, Robby doesn't know anything. Robby's not good at world building. It's the dumbest. I lost it on the street. I lost it, because if there's one thing I can say about Robby, he's a master world builder, okay? I said, I closed my eyes, and I said, I'm in Gloomsbrook right now. And guess what? You're dead. You're dead in Gloomsbrook. And guess what? A bird is picking at your eye, your dead eye. And guess what? I'm gonna crush your skull with my boot. And this guy didn't know what to say. And then I said, I'm doing it now. Get out of my face. It's all in Gloomsbrook, and this takes place in colonial America, and there's Zadok, there's Philip, and Shadowhawk, and if that's not world building, I haven't seen world building, because that is, you know, there's Nebraska, there's Alabama, there's Florida. That's a country. What Robby has done with Philip, Shadowhawk, Sean, Zadok, Gloomsbrook, all in colonial America, that's actually not America. That's the world. That is world building. And if you could imagine, you went into a store and you gave them $60 and they gave you the world. People don't understand that there are some people who come up with things that you actually shouldn't question, because they just know what's right to do. And if they've proven themselves as someone who is smart and capable, of doing the right thing, then you actually have no business questioning them or their art. In the building that I live in, the wall, I can hear everything. And I hear some things that people, I don't think they know I can hear, and I don't think they want me to hear. There's a couple next to me that they are always kissing each other. And sometimes I think there's a third person, but I can hear the sounds of that kiss. And I think that's so interesting how people can live one way, I can live one way, where that doesn't happen. And then on the other side of me, there's just I know there used to be an old man who lived there, and now it's just the dog, because I don't hear the guy anymore, but I hear the dog. And there's stories in that, and I couldn't, but a mind bigger than myself, a brighter mind could weave those stories into a whole world. Can you imagine a whole world of possibilities? So I go to the Target where they have all the video game consoles, and they have controllers out. They're tethered to a wire, so you can't take them home, but they have them out. And if you wait, if a little kid is playing it, you wait, and then it's your turn, and you get to play. And those stories in those games, you get. What if you could pick a person on the street and say, "Now I control you. I control you. Now I control you. I control you." How can you imagine? What would you make someone do against their will if you could control them? If you could pick a person and make them do anything. Like if I could take the controller and put it up against the one wall, the wall I have in my apartment, the wall that is adjoined to the apartment where the couple lives that kiss, and I say, "I control you now," and I use the D-pad, I use the buttons, I have them open the door, I have them come over, they knock on my door, and they say, "Alan, it's your neighbors, we're having a potluck, come over and tell us about yourself, and let's see where the night goes." I could control them. I could make them do things. They could make me a salad, I'd eat it, and I'd have little buttons. I'd have options of what they want to say. So one option would say, "Alan, did you like the salad? Alan, why don't you come live in our apartment instead of your apartment?" And then the last choice would be, "Why don't you join us in kissing?" And I'd go, what will I say? "Alan, why don't you come live with us?" And I'm still me, so I can just answer, "Maybe, let's see, let me see what your sleeping arrangement is. Do you have 2 beds? Because I'm not ready to share a bed with you yet." Because it's a game. It's a game. And you can control, you can pick these different narratives, and they branch off. If someone ever was like, "Alan, you make a game," I would be really nervous, and I'd probably ask Robby to do it, or I'd ask if he'd help me do it, because I don't really know if I would have the expertise to do that on my own. But if someone was like, "Alan, you make a game," or "help make a game," I would add a level in the game where you could either shrink your whole body down to the size of like a pebble this big, or different people with different like characters, female characters, could grow big like a building. Because I think that's an interesting game. What do you call it? A dynamic in a game, like you push a button, you jump on a box, and it makes everyone get huge, but you stay the same size, so they're bigger, and they're women, and they're huge size of skyscrapers towering up above, and you as your character look up and you go, "Whoa." Can you imagine how fun that would be? And it's a whole level of this. So they teach, maybe there's a little plaque on the wall that says, "Jump on this box to make the woman big." And you go, "I'll try that." And you jump on this box, and as soon as it happens, it's like, is this really happening? And you get to like, look up, and you, "Hey, I'm down here. Can you come down here?" And they can't even hear you, because to them, you probably sound like a bug. And when they talk to you, you wouldn't be able to hear those frequencies, because it would vibrate such a big wavelength. It would sound like, "I love you. What was that? You can't tell what it is, but the way to beat the level would be you just have to look at maybe 10 of these women, and then you've done that through walking, and it's a walking level. And at the end of the hallway or wherever you were, there's just it just says end, or that's the end of the level, and then you go on to the next level. And I actually think it would be cool if that happened in every level.
I didn't understand how it was gonna work. I didn't know it would look weird when I ordered the costume. I thought, Robby,
just give me a few moments.
I'm sorry, Robby.
I need.
No, you don't understand. I am sorry. Okay? I messed up. I don't know what you want me to do because I told you. I thought it would be fun if I wore a costume that was related to your costume because I just wanted to be in the same world as your character.
Okay. I'm hearing you, and I think that you have talked a lot about what you expected and what you wanted to happen. And I do hear you.
No, but I'm sorry because I didn't know it was gonna be green.
I need you to stop apologizing.
I am gonna stop apologizing. I'm sorry.
When you apologize so much, it almost feels like you're taking it out of my, like you're making this, you're turning this back around, you're turning it back on yourself, and I really, I struggle with that, and
I'm not trying to make it about me. I know it's your show, and you were so nice. You said I could come in and and I didn't have to be in the cold chat, but I could do the chat from in the studio, and I thought it would be special.
Well, we wanted to fix it, okay? We wanted to fix it so it wouldn't be so cold. And so it's gonna get fixed. And the next time, you'll get to go back in there, and it won't be cold, Alan.
But I like being in here. And if I can just do the chat in here, then I don't understand why you make me go out there because I can just do it in here. And I can...
I have a limited capacity, Alan. I have a limited capacity for how much I can take in a single situation. And right now, you are sort of overpowering me in a way that makes me very, very, very tense. And I just need a few moments for myself to just deal with the situation. I bought you a costume. It was not this costume.
I didn't understand what that costume was, and I just thought it would be a fun time for me to have a fun costume that I thought you would like.
It's Ryu from Shenmue, Alan. It's just a leather jacket and a white shirt.
I didn't play Shenmue.
You just can't. Do you want this to? Do you want this show? Do you want to just take the show away from me? Because honestly, that's what this feels like. I'm looking up at this, and I can't see you, and
I know.
It's.
But if I kind of like.
It's.
I think I don't know. I'll check the chat. I think people can still tell what it is.
It's not whether or not they can tell.
Okay, hold on.
It's just about whether or not you can listen to the things that I say to you in the lead up to us being on the air. And if I can trust that you are listening to me, that you are following through.
I am listening.
And right now I feel like I can't trust that.
You can trust everything I do. I do it because I care about you and I like you. And you should just do the show because I know I messed up. I'm ruining the show. I always mess up the show.
I wanted to...
I'm sorry.
Let's start the show, please. This is electronic game information. And our leading, we're
show again. They can tell what it is.
I know, Alan. Let me say,
Boost.
I get to open the show. Welcome to electronic game information and our coverage leading up to E3 2019.
Welcome to E3 leading up to.
Can we have some phone calls? Hello, you're on the air with electronic game information. This is our coverage leading up to E3 2019. You're on the air.
Hey there, Robby?
Yep, this is Robby.
And Alan's on the show,
This is Robby. Alan's also in the room. That you can direct questions at Robby.
Oh, well, I love you guys both. You're doing...
Robby.
Amazing work. Now, are there any games you guys are looking forward to?
Well, I would say that I'm mostly excited about. I'm excited about a number of things. I'm excited about getting to know more about how the Xbox Game Pass is going to work on PC. I think that's going to make things a lot easier for me. I have my Xbox in a room that gets very hot during the summertime, so I don't like to be in that room with the Xbox playing it when it's hot out. I like to be in my office, which is in a back area of the house where the air conditioning is. And
that's understandable.
I do the streaming. I stream on the same network as the Xbox and the PC, the laptop and the Xbox are in the same network, so I can usually stream, but there's hiccups.
Well, Alan, is there any opinion that you have on this, or?
I think that if you're in a room with an air conditioning on, it gets too cold. So maybe it's better to play the Xbox in the living room, even if it gets hot. And I think we should, Robbie, I think you should get a copy of Fallout 76, and we should play that online.
We've talked about it, Alan. It's not a real Fallout game.
What are you talking about?
Are there any games that you're excited about?
It is a real Fallout game.
Is there anything that you're hoping to hear about this E3?
They can't see my
really?
costume because
Please let the caller talk.
Alan,
Alan, please let the caller talk.
I'm sorry.
I think
Caller, you're on the air. Just say it again.
I think Nintendo has a great track record. I'm looking forward to Animal Crossing.
Absolutely,
Really
Animal
anything
Crossing. Maybe we'll hear some more about Metroid Prime 4. Maybe the often rumored Metroid Prime trilogy will be re-released.
I think people want to talk about
Caller, let me
Death
ask you a
Stranding.
question. Caller, let me ask you a question. Are you willing to pay full price for a re-release of Metroid Prime trilogy on the Nintendo Switch?
The whole thing, the trilogy? Absolutely. I think so, yeah.
But if they release them as separate games, the way they did the eShop release of Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2, then that would be less of a draw for you.
Yeah.
This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm trying. I'm just trying to get my.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you for calling. Let's get another caller in.
Robbie, they are re-releasing the game.
Please,
Ghostbusters.
please.
You should ask
I
about the
saw that.
remastered Ghostbusters.
I
game. It has the original.
Have you even?
I know.
Caller, you're on the air with electronic game information. It's our coverage leading up to E3 2019. That's a mouthful. And we just want to hear from you what you're excited about, what you're hoping to see, if there's any games that you want to see more of, or if maybe there's a fantasy that you have of a game that hasn't been announced yet.
Just say what's on your mind.
Yeah, hi there. My name is Alex. Sorry, I had some bad hot week, so I don't know if this is going to come through. I just wanted to see what your guys' opinion on the upcoming game Cook for Cube is.
Alex, I accidentally put on a green costume, and I didn't understand the mechanics of the show, but apparently when you wear green on this show, you don't show up on the show except for just bits and pieces of you. So the game you're talking about is a cooking game.
Okay, Alex, I need to go through. I want to walk you through a scenario that I had in my head, which is this.
Go for it.
Okay. The show, this is the first show of our E3 coverage. It goes great. We start with a promo video for the game that I made up, and that leads into a larger kind of conversation about E3 and what E3 means to people, right?
It's important, I know.
Alan, I'm talking to Alex.
Should I leave?
Alex, the show was a success.
Should I go?
The show was a success because people did what they were supposed to do, and people worked together to make the show happen. I go home tonight feeling good, and I switch on my Nintendo Switch, and I spend money that I earned
on
making this show
Marble It Up.
on the Devolver eShop sale
You can
that's
still
live
do
right
that,
now.
Robbie. I can give you eShop credits. I will pay for that. Oh my God.
Thank you for
Alan,
your
have
call.
You know I care about the show, or else I wouldn't have even worn a costume. Like Ben and Cricket, when they come on, they don't even put on the costumes. Okay.
Well, that's why you're different. Thank you for your call. Can we have the next caller on? Okay, great. Well, listen, we have another promo for the game that I made up to show you, and I hope you guys like it. This is going to be as much of a premiere for you as it is for me. We hired an outside company. We outsourced this to an outside media company in the hopes that they would help us make more quality content. And let's just take a look, and when we come back, we'll maybe have started to move forward a little bit with everything that's happened up until this point.
Spawn was a really cool movie that came out in the 90s, and it had John Leguizamo in it, and for some reason Robbie's obsessed with that movie, I guess. I don't know. So what I know about Spawn is that he's from hell. He's a hell guy, and he comes to Earth, and it's really crazy because John Leguizamo is not a fat person. Do you know what I mean? But in the movie, I don't know if he gained like 300 pounds or 400 pounds for the role, but he's like a ball of a person, and he's the Spawn bad guy, and Spawn comes to Earth to fight John Leguizamo, who, like I said, you wouldn't even, if you saw a picture, you wouldn't go, that's John Leguizamo, because. And
so what would I do to make this game better? First of all, I would make the characters a little bit relatable. I would name them things that everyone in the world can relate to. Like Jason, that's a great one. And then also, I don't know, something like dog. Everybody likes dogs.
I know I have to be completely clear right now. I know literally nothing about Shadowhawk other than he hangs out with Spawn. And I don't remember him from the movie Spawn, but apparently he's Spawn's guy.
16th century America. Oh yeah, really cool. Everybody wants to go back there. Like those people came for, like history has progressed from then on purpose. There's a reason that we didn't just stop back in the 1600s, and it's because nobody liked it, so they kept moving forward in time to get to now, right? So what's the point of going all the way back then when we're already at now? And we have all this stuff that we can do that they couldn't do.
That, I don't know. I have no idea who Shadowhawk is. Sounds like a bird person. Maybe does he just like, I think maybe Spawn is like, Cacaw like calls him over, and then Shadowhawk jumps on his, and then they talk about, let's go to Earth. We're in hell. Let's go to Earth and find the John Leguizamo, and then I think it might be Shadowhawk's idea, like, yeah, let's do that. Like he isn't, I guess that's not his idea, he just agrees.
I don't know, like right now, like it could be set at an amusement park. It could be set at a mall. It could be set anywhere where people actually like to go. You know, that's the thing. When you're making content, you just look at the clues around you. You say, what do people actually do with their time? Because you don't want to make something that nobody does. Like the answers are all around you. What do people do? They like to go out with their friends. Okay, so it's about Jason and Dog, and they're going out with their friends. What else do people like to do?
And then Shadowhawk's on the so when they come to Earth, I'm pretty sure Shadowhawk flies away, and then he's not in the rest of the movie because he's a bird, and he fly. Am I thinking of something else? Is there a different bird in the movies?
I don't know. What do people love to do with their friends? Buy cars. Which cars do people love to do? Audis. They love to drive Audis around. Like, everybody loves that, right? So Jason and Doug are getting in their old, worst car. It's like 2 years old, and they need to find their way to the Audi dealership. And they drive around, and the first big challenge is they have to pick their favorite song. And there's so many choices nowadays, so the first thing that you have to do in the game is pick a song. And if you pick the wrong one, then they get into a fight and they miss the light and then they get hit by a car. Because if you make small wrong choices in life, it can lead to big snowball effects, which I know personally, but I'm not going to get into that right now. You know, I don't bring these ideas to the room lightly. I don't bring them to the room out of just some whim. I say everything that I say and all of my ideas because I am inspired, and I'm not inspired by something inside of myself. I'm inspired by something outside of myself that inspires me, something that flows through me that I can give out, but that I can't contain.
There's a lot of parts of me that I don't quite understand and can't know. My legs, I can't feel them. My hands, completely numb. And so to me, those are parts I say only God can know. So they're like, are you running or are you walking? And I say only God can know.
I just don't know any other way to say it. It's just that I'm blessed, and if other people would get out of the way, they could be blessed too. But not everybody is able to receive that kind of energy because it's very powerful.
There's an emptiness in you. That's God's house, right? Is that empty, complete empty, numb feeling. I can't feel my mouth, I can't feel my eyes, I can't feel anything. Because God's inside of me, living inside of me, like a guy moving my body and my arms and my legs, and he's taking up that space, that feeling space. He feels that. So a lot of people come to me, they say, I can feel my body, I can feel these things. I have a heart, I can feel that. And I say, well, guess who thinks that, wants you to think that? The Satan, the devil. If you think you can feel yourself, that's the devil. And now have you seen the movie God Is Not Dead?
Somebody can hold a mirror for you, and that's step one. And then the second step is you take the mirror and hold it yourself. And then the third step is that your image of yourself is so perfect that you don't need a mirror because you have yourself looking at you from about this far away all of the time.
Parts that he's talking in front of and he's, no, stop, and God, and then do you see what's happening? That's because I can't feel my brain, I can't feel my thoughts. I don't know what the thoughts to the brain, to the mouth, to the eyes are, because that's God. That's part of him.
The angels are like, I like to think of the angels like servants, where you want them in your spaces that you wouldn't let other people into, but you don't want them to be there without your permission, right? So it's not that the angels are separated from me or like I keep them at bay. Like it's not like I go to Neiman Marcus and I send them to Macy's. It's more like they come to one work with me and they hold my packages.
I do play some, I will call them games, some online games. We wouldn't call them video games, I guess, but there's no control. I do play online games, yeah.
Sometimes you don't, like it's nice to have people around the fact like sometimes because they're around so sometimes think about that little meeting and then a conference call or someone jumps on like and then the conference call might hold and tweets on themselves and then that goes so low like whatever the other story talking about and then you're annoyed because those folks in there embarrassingly that said their name like right in the middle of the conference call. It's exactly like that with the angel works for me, but I can hear it. Like their energy is so intense. Like it's like that, and like it doesn't sound like a big deal, but like there's a lot of names, right? There's kind of like infinite numbers. Like they are all like, oh my god, something big is going down. This brand is about to launch. There's some conference call happening. Like they are on that call because they are on to good energy. What am I not good energy? So I'm on the call, and I just start hearing these dings, like ding. Down.
It's like falling down the stairs, but that were good. where I just kind of click that, up. And then when I see one that where they're shaking and I'm in my face, kind of look, I go, and then I click that, and then
I'm on the call when I like see round of the I'm like
$1.7xy.land or something, and then I'm there, and then it does it. At that point, it starts installing stuff on my computer. I just whatever I let in.
I hired you, and she's like, yeah, you hired me to run the company, and I'm like, no.
And it'll be more kind of like if this person collects a certain amount of money, they're going to do this crazy thing that you definitely want to see. You want to see it so bad. It's like the whole reason you're there.
So he wasn't on call, and I thought that it was Sunday, and I'm pretty like.
So part of the game then is you look at your account statement and you think about how much can I spend on this.
And then I realized it was the angel. It was the angels coming on the line.
Finally, over time, maybe hours. You finally get to the point, and then that thing happens. It's a great thing, and sometimes another person will come out and they do the good, and that will. And sometimes there's other people playing the game like an online kind of multiplayer, and they'll be like, "Thank you so much," because we really want to see it. We didn't we're like, "Man, I think you're kind of like using this website," and like, or like you know, we're trying to create a relationship with that person in real life somehow. Like, hey, can I read you? But at that part, I haven't been able to figure out that level, but like because you really kind of gain like almost what it feels like a relationship with this person, especially it's a relationship with the website, and you want to marry that girl. And so part of the game is figuring out how maybe it's money, but it's like figure out how to get there thing. It's a great thing. And it's awesome, but now I'm like, how do I become that video games boyfriend?
I don't know.
Oh God,
Robby, why?
Why didn't I ask to see the video before?
This isn't your fault. I just think that there's something inherently bad about Ben and Cricket that make them do things wrong to sabotage you.
Oh
and
my
I just
God!
think,
Look
like,
at the time. It was so long.
Robby, I am so sorry that happened to you. I'm going to march up to their houses, and I'm gonna knock on the doors, and I'm gonna have a word with them, because it's actually not okay for people to treat you, because you obviously have this clear vision of a game that you made up, and they were supposed to talk about that, and they just went on and on and on and on.
It's gonna be a miracle if we have any more episodes. It's such a nightmare.
Can you Robby, can you please stop having them come on the show?
Is there anybody on the phone call? Is there anyone waiting on the line anymore?
Did anyone call in? They probably stopped. There's people in the chat. Okay, hold on. People on the chat are pissed. Oh my God. Finally.
Oh my God. Hello, you're on the air with electronic game information. You're on the air. Hello? Hello, you're on the air with electronic game information.
Robby is upset because Ben and Cricket just sabotaged his whole show, and they talked forever about nothing. What do you say?
That was really upsetting. I don't know what to say. Those guys are fucking. They're professional saboteurs.
I feel like I'm paralyzed. I can't
Robby.
It's like all of the muscles in my body are locked up.
Robby,
Does that ever happen to you?
It's okay. The show's supposed to be about E3.
It's kind of like my whole body's on fire, and like my wiener is like vibrating at the speed of sound.
What? Come on.
Okay,
Can we?
I can't put.
That's
I can't like
That's
handle
insult to
that.
injury.
That's just like this is like a. There's so much dark.
Hi,
energy
you're
right
on
now.
Electronic Game Information at
And
E3.
I feel like
Ben
I'm like
and
falling,
Cricket hurt their
and I'm
friend
going,
Robbie. They're
like,
supposed to be
deeper
friends, and they're just
deeper.
nonsense. What do you say?
It's like I'm in the Doom Eternal, and
I feel bad for Robbie, but I have a question about his game that might cheer him up.
Yes. What is your question about the game that Robbie made up that
How
is
could
so
you
good, Robbie?
possibly-
It is so good, and not everyone can see it. What is the question?
I was wondering if Spawn would get to unlock armors so he could change his appearance.
That's a great question, Robbie.
The short answer is yes.
Oh my God, that's
And-
game changing for me.
But honestly, I feel like this is supposed to be. We were supposed to have people watching, like publishers, supposedly, and I don't think that they're watching anymore.
Thank you for,
What about Hat?
for your call.
Okay, bye.
Okay, Robbie, I'm so sorry that
I
happened.
feel like
to you.
I'm like struggling to breathe.
Let's do something super fun. Let's just play a game
I
or
don't
just do
have
something super
anything
fun.
fun to do. I can't. I'm so upset, and I'm so unbelievably angry. You're on the air with Electronic Game Information. This is our coverage leading up to E3 2019.
This is a mess.
Hello, I finally made it through. I'm so happy.
Okay.
That interview was a little long, though. I'm with you on that. I don't know what happened.
It's what happens when you don't take control of a situation yourself, when you sort of allow people to make decisions
They're
without.
taking advantage of you because it's your platform, and they're taking advantage
I
of
don't
you
feel like
with
it
their
was,
own.
I don't
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
what it sounds
Stop.
like.
But I do feel like it's not entirely their fault. It's mine
What are you talking
because
about?
I
No,
am
no.
responsible. I
No.
was the person who was supposed to watch and give feedback, and I thought that by
Oh, so you didn't watch the video all the way through, did you?
I haven't watched. This is my 1st time
Don't-
watching it. I wanted to outsource the video editing to a company
That company was
clearly
trash.
doesn't have a sense
Oh,
of
no.
how to be respectful with the time that you have and the time that are the people who are supposed to be watching the show.
Robbie works so hard on this show, and this company that made
I
this
can
video
tell.
just doesn't listen, and they just made their own thing, and they had Ben and Cricket. It sucks. It sucks.
I feel like
Well, do you want to talk about your future expectations for the E3 coming up? Since this is your coverage, got to use the time you have left.
I keep wanting to know more about Xbox Game Pass on the PC. And
Yeah, I'm interested about that. I saw that. Interesting, right?
Oh, what?
I feel like I need to talk to somebody else. I'm sorry.
it's not you.
Oh.
It's just I feel.
Can we give
like
Can we
I'm
give
going-
Robbie some personal space here? Can we just go to like another caller and just maybe we can try to make Robbie? You're on the call. You're on the call with E3 EGI. Robbie has been hurt badly by
We haven't even
friends.
talked about any games.
Oh, hi. Am I lagging? I'm lagging. I called because I can see Robbie looks like a cracked egg I just put in my noodles. So
Cracked egg.
I
in
was
the
wondering.
noodles. Well, listen, it's not the end of the world.
But it's
I
not
can
good.
still go home. I can still, I still have a, we have the car. We can get into the car and drive home. And
You
then
drive
we can
home,
keep
and as
driving.
long as you are like eggs, and noodles, just eggs and noodles, and fly on.
Well, what do you want from me, 3?
Nothing in particular at the moment. You look very sad.
Can you talk about like a game that'll make Robbie happy, that'll make you happy? Like
You
a
ever
game
play
that you
with
like?
the Wolfenstein: The New Order?
No, I haven't. Oh, Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. Looks like trash.
Well, listen, in Wolfenstein: The New Order, BJ Blazkowicz takes aside this green soldier, and he slaps him, and he says, "It's time to do the breathing lesson." And they do a breathing inhale.
What soldier?
1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's Wolfenstein: The New Order. It's on Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, and the Nintendo Switch and PC.
But it's
Radical.
down-res graphics on the Switch, but it's still fun.
Sounds super amazing.
They did their best. They took an impossible situation with that port, and they made a magical thing happen. They got the whole game on there. And don't call her. What's your name?
Bridget.
Bridget. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't port games like that to the Nintendo Switch.
And if Robby says it, you know he means it because he knows that stuff good.
Because if they start believing that, they're not gonna. Maybe they won't. I think this is an EGI E3 2019 prediction. I think we're gonna hear about Fallout New Vegas on the Nintendo Switch.
That would be so cool.
Absolutely.
And that is a game I think about playing that on the go. I think about playing that when I fly home to visit the parents. When I think about flying to New York to visit the brother and the sister, and it could happen. I believe that if it's going to happen, it's this year.
Okay.
Don't dream it, see it. Yes.
Thank you for your call, Bridget. Don't let anyone tell you what don't you do.
I just pick my ears out. Can't hear anything for the rest of my life now.
All right. Let's get another caller in. We do have some time left for some more calls.
No,
just one more call.
One more call.
Please, just one more call. You're on the air with Electronic Game Information. This is E3 2019, our coverage leading up to it.
They love you in the chat, Robby.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing? What are you looking forward
Good.
to?
How
Tell
are
us
you
something
doing?
good. Tell us something real.
Pokemon. How do you feel about that?
Which one? There's like 11 Pokemon games coming out.
Dude, Sword and Shield, baby, the new stuff.
All right, that's the new stuff. We got an E3 exclusive. This is the new stuff. We're excited about the Pokemon Sword and Shield.
And they're making a sequel, Detective Pikachu, from the DS on the Switch, which is now a movie.
Yes. Yeah.
All right,
It was
go
a very cute movie.
Pikachu.
Yes. Have fun.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right. I think we're getting it back. We do have to do one final thing. We do have a final caller. Caller, you're on the air. I have something that I want to share, and I don't want you to be mad.
I'm listening, Robby.
It's another video.
No, not again. No, this company, they messed it up. They messed it up.
This is me. It's an idea, and that you're moving out of the head space into the physical space, and you know how to say things, but you don't know how to so it's like a game is something that you plug in a controller and you play and you move around, and all the moving parts happen because someone took the time to take what someone said and actually mold it into a form that is interactive or is more, it's like based less on what just the person said, and instead it's also it's like code, like it's just strings of code in a box that it's like 3 boxes. There's the store bought, the box that you buy at the store that you plug into the television. Then there's the box the disc comes in that you put into the store box, the television box. I'm not like somebody. I'm not analytical. I'm like impulsive. I inject myself into the decision-making process like you would inject oil into a car engine. And the car is the project, and the car is the mission, and it's speeding down the highway. And if I don't have the cash that I need to get the car start, like the cash is the key. I'm the car. It's like, what do? You have a program that you open up and that you type in just lines and lines of code, and that becomes graphics. There's never a reason to do anything except something that ends with an experience. I don't understand why I can't walk into a bank as a person with a fully loaded wallet filled with credit cards, why I can't go into a bank as this person and ask demandingly for the money that I need. And it's not fair for people to say, well, this is such a thought. This is this is such a series of like, what is this? What is the thought? Where is this coming from? Like, why is it so important to you that you feel the need to get so worked up about it? And I keep telling my wife that I'm not worked up about anything except for the fact that there's things that you come up with in your head and you bring into the world as a gift. And if I can't realize it, then what's the world for? What is it for? You ask a question, you get an answer. That's simple. What I'm asking for is at least $825,000, just at the bare minimum, for somebody to come to my house with several computers and just follow the train of thought that I have. It's unending. It's stuck in here. All of these dynamic characters and relationships and interactive moments, and I just can't get it out. And I can't. And it's like a stop. When you flick your television on and it starts, and it takes a little while for the screen to boot up, and then you flick your game console on, whether you've got your Xbox or your PlayStation 3, it doesn't matter. It takes time and it takes electricity. You pay for that electricity with the job that you work. You pay for that. That electricity comes from through wires, and the wires, copper wires, silver wires, wires that have been dug into the ground by men and women with the foresight to sacrifice valuable time in their lives to build up the infrastructure to deliver the electricity to your house so you can experience something new. And where does that electricity come from? It comes from factories that are along the coast, big factories with smokestacks and cooling towers with giant turbines that are cranking out like bolts of electricity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, barring some holidays, I'm guessing. And you have trucks bringing in oil and coal and solar energy into the factories, and it's all part of this pulverizing, magnifying chemical process. These are people that could be at home with their families, but instead they are working day in, day out, night and day for you to be able to flick on that TV and plug in your Xbox and play something. Those resources aren't just, they're not just like building random harvesting towers in the desert that are then surrounded by troops that can be moved in, like, because they're coming out of a barracks that you built, I don't know, like several hours ago. Those places are long for those places in the desert are real, and there are people working on them, and there are animals that died millions of years ago to bring you those resources, and the animals were part of a larger chemical process that started somewhere deep in outer space. And maybe, yes, it started with the voice of God, and then he said, and he spoke, and particles and bacteria and minerals came out of nothing and went into rocks, and those rocks became life and grew, and you had those like rock creatures, and those resources are what you pay for. So why not pay a little bit more?
Oh my, Robby, that was so good.
Let me tell you something about this show. I could have said everything that I just said in a matter of seconds.
It's so true.
But I have a deep respect for the audience of this show.
They love you. They love you.
For the people who watch this show, for the people who tune in and care, and the people who call in. And so I want to make sure that I don't talk down to anybody, that I'm not dumbing anything down for a broader audience. This is for a specific audience. This is for a niche audience, and this is a real thing that we have to do.
They love it.
And I'm not doing it to slap myself on the back. I'm doing this because I want us all to have this kind of communication.
Yes, go off. Yes, this is so good.
Do we have anybody on the line?
They love you in the chat. All claps.
All right.
Clap hands.
Let's let a caller through. Caller, you're on the air with electronic game information. This is E3 2019.
They want you to run for president.
Hi.
How are you doing tonight?
Did you see that? Did you see it?
Good, I guess.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the expectations that we have for the show going forward.
Did you see Robbie's video? Did you like that?
Obviously.
Yes, I did like it. It was great.
It was so good, Robbie.
Okay, Alan,
I'm sorry.
Thank
okay.
you for you're pumping me up. I appreciate you, but I need to. So the expectations
they want to pay people
are real, right? This is a real thing that's happening to all of us together. So what do we do next? Where do we go from here?
I guess maybe next time we can monitor more Ben and Cricket's video.
Yes.
So what you're saying you're wanting to see less.
I'm gonna write that down.
Long videos with Ben and Cricket in them.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's.
They don't have much to add to the game, anyways.
Well, let's. I want. We're coming short on time, and so I want to just be really clear here. I don't blame Ben and Cricket for the things that they said. I blame myself, and I blame the expectation that I had for them to act differently than what they are naturally inclined to do. Does that make sense?
We won't.
We have to not. We have to go forward without trying to place the expectation on people that is not informed. So Alan will continue to wear the costume that he was not supposed to wear but chose to. Because I'm choosing right now to accept that going forward. So maybe it's time. It's not time for that yet, but it is time for the acceptance to start.
You are such an awesome dude.
Thank you for your call. Thank you for your call. We have time for one more call. Hi, you're on the air with electronic game information. What do you got? Give it to me. This is real.
I wanted to talk about how Ben and Cricket are actually right.
They are right. What are they right about?
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
That they had a point, that the game has some issues.
Can we hang up on this? This is actually not a call. This is
okay.
This is okay.
This is part of the process.
Who call
this is part of the process of
and do joke voices. Hang up.
The game isn't perfect. It's not a thing that exists physically at all. I understand that. And obviously, any people that were supposed to be watching, that were thinking about giving us money, they're not going to anymore.
What are you talking about? They want to PayPal you, Robbie. You need to set up
publishers, Alan. It's real money. $825,000 just doesn't appear out in the sky.
But you have so many people on here who love you, and they give you clap emojis, and they want to help. Robbie 2020. They want you to run.
All we have
they
to
want
do,
to vote for you for president.
Caller, all we have to do is come up with some sort of a filler that kind of closes up these holes in the issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? Not right now. This isn't time for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. What are you excited about?
They're gone. It was a prank. It was just a prank, Robbie. You can't let people like that mess with you.
It's time for it's time. We have one final caller. Hello, you're on the air with electronic game information. We're getting to you. We're listening to you.
Hey, it's me. I wanted to talk a bit about E3 before we left.
Okay, give us 3 quick words.
I'm very excited.
Okay, thank you for your call.
Thank you for your call.
Now I'm going to go and I'm going to talk over here for a moment. Alan, if you could just...
I don't know what you do.
I'm going to go. I'm talking to the camera over here. So we're going to do this. We still have time for this. Okay? It's been a long night, and a lot of people's expectations haven't been realized. And so I'm taking that and I'm going to do something constructively with it. In the moments right before the end of the last video, they slipped me a note to say that the publishers that we had hoped would be on board are no longer on board. So we have a choice to make. It's important that we do cover the news going into E3, and we will do that. And it's important that we follow the rules that we set out for ourselves. I don't know what will happen to this game that I made up. There's alternative funding that we can probably discover if we just are willing to sacrifice a few more things, and maybe we'll follow up with that. But again, this is a show about video games and video game news, and this is the biggest video game event of the year worldwide. And so we're not going to let another episode go by without checking it and double checking it and triple checking it. And it's going to be what you want, because it's going to be what we make because we respect the audience. This is about respect. Okay, that was our first episode of our coverage leading up to E3 2019. We are so excited to bring you more breaking video game news, and we will be coming back to you same time, same place next week. Please continue sending your art, your beautiful art, to electronicgameinformation@gmail.com. We have been lucky to receive some art already. The time crunch that we're in tonight means that we'll be moving that art show to next week, and we are not ignoring you. We are listening, and it's real. So thank you. There's a Twitter and an Instagram. Alan, why don't you just tell us about that?
There's Twitter and an Instagram for the show, and you should follow it. It's like an EGI Instagram, Twitter. I think the handle's probably got EGI or Electronic Game Information in the name, or you could just look for that. I don't know what it is.
We'll post things, and we'll make this worth your while.
And my costume is the wrong color. It's the same color as the wall, so I don't look like I'm even here, but I'm here. And I'm sorry.
This is quiet time.